The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy Monday morning after the drunk day of NFL that we had yesterday.
What the fuck?
Go home,
that?
NFL. You're drunk. Holy cow. Hey, I won the pick segment again. Yeah, and I won the torture ticket. Somebody's going to eat some crawfish.
But you shouldn't have.
Nah,
here's
but
the
I
thing.
should have.
You shouldn't have won it.
Oh, no.
Because you were painfully wrong. Because Jordan Love is not an NFL quarterback.
I don't know about painfully wrong. I mean, I was painfully wrong believing that Jordan Love could even be a half-assed quarterback in this league. I'll give you that.
He is god-awful.
You know who else is god-awful? The Kansas City Chiefs offense.
And I figured out why.
Why is that?
I know why.
Why is that?
You want to know why Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job last year? Watch this offense. It looks like it's coordinated by a drunk 7-year-old playing Madden.
Right.
Literally everything they do is deep. There is no cohesiveness to that offense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make even the vaguest amount of sense. And that's where it's at. You can make this about anything you want to.
Yep.
At the end of the day, he is not a good coordinator.
Yep.
Period. And having dinner with Andy Reid does not make you a good coach.
Welcome everybody into the chat box. All the members of the House of Reprehensibles, welcome into the program. Share this video out so we can add to the house.
There are shirts coming. As you can see, there is a lovely graphic underneath us. Mm-hmm. Join the House of Reprehensibles. Let me know what you think about the font. It is hard to find political fonts that are free. Because we're cheap, and I have never paid for but one font in my life, and I want to keep it that way.
It's great. I mean, if there's one person that says that that's not cool, I'm going to need you to get your brain checked. You're going to have to recharge your brain batteries.
Wait.
We got to recharge your brain batteries.
God, I love Gary Busey so much.
Well, the NFL in Week 8 went full Gary Busey, and we'll recap each and every game right here over the next hour or so with you in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Yes, Jeremy is going to have to eat some crawfish as the Kansas City Chiefs could not cover the spread of a full touchdown yesterday. And had it not been for the awful, awful special teams play of the Green Bay Packers, that game could have gone very differently. They could have been a tie ball game going into overtime. But laces out, Dan, or whoever the hell is snapping and holding. Pat McAfee had a lot of fun with that yesterday on Twitter. He was just, oh my God, I can't believe it. The center sucks. But we're going to get into each and every game here. Yeah, crawfish going to be on the table for Tuesday afternoon. We got to call up the crab du jour. I think that's where we're going to go to get our crawfish.
They're so gross. But
I
was right.
You going to be sucking mud bugs.
I was right, though.
You were
this
not
is
right.
Such bullshit. I
You
was
were
right.
not right.
Jordan Love could not have scored a point on any other team in the NFL. There's not another team in the league he could have scored on.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
He sucks. I was right.
Yeah, see, Daniel, I don't know. I don't understand either. Daniel Calderon in the comments says, crawfish are delicious. Yes, they are.
Gross.
But for some reason, Jeremy just absolutely hates
They're
them.
so gross.
I'm gonna order a big tray, and we're gonna make you eat at least 3 of them, and then I'm going to destroy the rest of the tray.
Oh, God, they're so good. But I was right. I was fucking right.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get into just how bad Jordan Love is coming down the stretch of the program here. All right, so normally we just go through the same order of the games that we picked them in yesterday. Do we want to do that, or do you have a highlight game that you want to start with?
You know what? Yesterday was such a drunk day that we just have to go in some semblance of a fucking order.
Okay, all right. So Houston and Miami was the first game that we featured yesterday. Dolphins win 17-9. That's a game that I picked up on you guys.
You didn't.
I tried to tell you, the Houston Texans are not good.
By the way, you do realize that they failed in the red zone twice.
Oh, yeah.
You should in no way have covered this. Because this was a gross, disgusting fest, exactly like I told you.
The Houston Texans are god-awful. Tyrod Taylor did not give his team anything in coming back.
No.
You might as well just have stuck with Davis Mills.
He gave them a lot of interceptions. He was real good at throwing to the team not wearing the same color jersey he was wearing. Mm-hmm. If that was a thing, he would be the bestest at it.
On the flip side of that, the Miami Dolphins have a problem when Tua Tagovailoa is not on the field. I mean, they got problems when he's on the field too. But
he's a bust.
Tua
Tagovailoa is a bust.
Stop that.
He's a bust. Hey, what more do you need to see? He's hurt all the fucking time. This team's not good anyway.
He had a finger injury.
Because it was jammed up his ass for too long.
Stop that.
That team's not good.
Of course they're not good.
They're not good with Tua. They didn't look markedly different yesterday without him than they do with him. He is a career backup. That's what he is in the NFL. Mm-hmm. If you learned anything from Jordan Love yesterday, it's you probably shouldn't doubt me on quarterbacks. You bust my ass on an LSU wide receiver every once in a while. Right. I do not miss on quarterbacks very often.
Well, there's one you missed on that we're going to talk about later on in the program.
And
here.
I'm still not sure I missed on him. I have a take on what happened there.
Yeah. Anyway, no, there wasn't a whole lot to like in the Dolphins-Texans game. I mean, Jalen Waddle, again, he's the bright spot of this Miami Dolphins team.
Yay, Jalen Waddle.
When you can catch eight passes from a guy who doesn't seem like he can throw the ball very well.
Somebody, by the way, asked, how do I get the beer mug logo? There's a little join button right underneath us. If you're on an iPhone, apparently it's kind of hard to find. If you're on an iPhone, whoever asked that, it's gone back up now, so I can't see it.
Right.
We can get you there, I promise.
Yeah, hit that join button. You can join the House of Reprehensibles.
I would literally rather carry a Gordon Gecko cell phone than an iPhone. So I am not good with Apple things.
Right.
Also, apparently not good with my computer because it won't go. I have 3 friggin' computers in front of me, and currently one of them is working appropriately.
Right.
This is bullshit.
Right.
God, I'm so angry today. I'm just so pissed off.
Because you lost so much money, is that why?
No, I actually didn't. Thank you, NC
well, that's
State.
Good.
Thanks, NC State. You made this a profitable weekend for me.
How'd that Wake Forest bet work out for you?
Annoying. It worked out annoyingly.
Yeah.
But the thing I bet the most in that was the over. Yeah, I hit
there
that
in
the beginning of the third quarter.
That was the easiest bet of the weekend.
Ever of all time.
It was 77, and I didn't even think about it for a second.
I'm literally waiting for somebody to say, what happened to Kentucky against Tennessee? Yeah, I fucking know, okay? You're not telling me anything that I already know.
Right. Denver and Dallas. What the fuck?
Yeah, you want me to tell you what I know definitively about the Dallas Cowboys? They got dick down in Dallas.
Yeah, they did.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they did. I mean, nobody expected the Denver Broncos to come out like they did, just run the ball down their throats, and get out to a, 30-0 lead?
Dick down in Dallas.
I mean, that defense looked every bit as bad as last year's defense this past week.
And you know what I took from that game?
What's that?
Because that is one of our overreactions of the day. Because I'm hearing this a lot. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys are not really a Super Bowl contender.
Yep.
Stop talking. You're 147% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? This game pissed me off more than any other, and I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
I should have known this was coming.
Why?
Because the same thing I said about the Cleveland Browns. When you get the malcontent out of the locker room, that's what happens. I really love hearing the ice jingle around in your cup.
Sorry.
It's just a tremendous sound effect. Here, let me add one.
There you go. Let's hear the slurp. Let's hear the slurp.
Production values, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah.
When you get the malcontent out of the locker room, a lot of times you will see that 1 week, and that's what Denver got. Plus, I think Dallas thought they were going to walk into that stadium and blow their doors off.
Right.
Pat Shurmur, I heard this morning. I think it was Jonas Knox that said this. Pat Shurmur called that game like he knew if this didn't go well, he wasn't going to have a job today.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it went. Did I have any big sweeping declarations? No. Denver's defense played markedly better than it's played in any other game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, you sleptwalk through it. Look, we live in a world where the best team in the NFL lost to the worst team in the NFL.
Did you,
okay?
Right. But did you not expect Dak Prescott was going to come back from the injury and just be firing on all cylinders?
I mean, yeah. I also didn't expect Malik Taylor to be the only Cowboys receiver that scored yesterday. By the way, 7th out of 9 weeks I've given you a winning lineup on DraftKings.
Oh, nice.
It's
Nice.
only 2 times I have failed to give you a winner.
Oh, it's time for this. I guess it's time for this. The you should draft better lineup of the fantasy day. If you told Jeremy Greene yesterday that you were going to start this team in fantasy football, he would have told you should draft better. Your quarterback for the week, Josh Johnson from the Jets.
Yeah, who was a backup. And we should have known when Josh Johnson went for 3 bills that, this week's going to be a little bizarre.
Yeah. Your running back 1 on the week,
James Conner.
Can
we get him?
There he goes.
Can we get him a barber? That little poo thing back behind him, that is the most annoying thing I've ever seen.
The little poo thing?
He has this little, it's like a little... It's
like a mullet?
No, it's not a mullet by any stretch because it's only about that wide and it's about that long.
Yeah.
It's a little nublet, and I just hate it.
You just hate it so much.
Every time he takes his helmet off, I'm like, please, God, somebody come up behind him and just go full jackass. Like,
he was your number 1 fantasy scorer in week 8.
Which is proof positive.
39.3 points in PPR.
Which is proof positive that a blind squirrel will find a nut every once in a while.
Yep. Your wide receiver 1 this week.
Oh, wide receiver 1. Was it Cordaro Patterson?
Nope.
God, wide receiver 1 this week.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Taylor was pretty high.
He was pretty high, but he wasn't quite that high.
I don't know who the 1 was.
It was Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore was the one. He was the one. 8 catches, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Scored 23.9 fantasy points. Your wide receiver 4 on the week. Olamide Zaccheaus.
He didn't mean to.
He was a wee little man, but he put up big points. 26.8 fantasy points this week. Your wide receiver 7 this week was Malik Turner with his 2 touchdowns.
Turner.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Malik Taylor?
No clue.
I think he was a backup dancer for Milli Vanilli.
Running back 2 on your you should draft better fantasy team. He was RB5 this week, and there was 0 shot that you played him.
I don't even know.
It was Nyheim Hines.
Ugh.
Nyheim Hines with his 20.8 points. And then we'll just go conservative at tight end. We'll skip out on the big ones, Darren Waller, George Kittle, Travis Kelce.
George Kittle. By the way, you remember that thing I said about George Kittle? Ron George told me somebody in one of his leagues dropped George Kittle.
Oh, my gosh.
You should go slap that person right in the ding-ding.
You should have him on your fantasy team.
Because he's good at the footballs.
Yes. Tight end number 4 this week, Steven Anderson. Not sure who that is. I think he did my taxes one time.
Yeah, Steven Anderson. I think he is from the noted law firm Anderson, and Anderson.
He had 13.9 points this week. He was tight end 4. That's how bad the tight ends were this week.
Hey, I played Albert Okwuegbunam, who had 3 catches for 35 yards. Yeah, guess what? He was in the top 10.
Yeah. Good Lord. If you'd have played all those players that I just gave you, that would have been 170 points this week, and you would have killed everybody else because I don't think too many people broke 100.
I'm in a league, I'm in a 16-team league where 13 teams did not break 100 points this week. That is
God-awful.
Unbelievable. Now, I had 160. Thank you, Cordaro Patterson, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. But that is your you should draft better fantasy lineup for week 8 in the NFL. Good.
This was just a fucking shit show of a week.
It was. It was a god-awful week, and so many weird things happened, including the Broncos, like I say, getting up 30-0 over the Dallas Cowboys. And, the stat line looked okay at the end of it for Dak, but all that was in garbage time.
Yeah.
So
his QBR was a lovely 24.
Whew.
Hot.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. The Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. What if I told you that the most exciting game of the day featured two purple teams?
I actually told you this was going to be the low-key show.
No, yeah,
Shit out of the
yeah.
week.
And here's the thing: is when I was watching the Red Zone, I couldn't tell.
Hansen.
I couldn't tell which one it was. Like,
Chris
well,
Hansen.
I was in the. I went over to Buffalo Wild Wings with Joshua, and we were sitting there watching. And as they flopped it up on the screen, I was like, "Oh, wait, purple? Is that Minnesota? Oh no, it's the Baltimore Ravens." Minnesota, Baltimore 34-31 in overtime. Ravens coming from behind yet again.
They can't play ahead.
No, they have struggled to score points in the first half of ball games so
Which
far
is
this year.
Weird. By the way, just play Lamar Jackson every week from now on.
And here's the thing. Like, that was the big knock on Lamar for years and years, was that he can't come from behind. And guess what? He learned. He has learned how to win games.
That should be a goal for many of us, to come from behind.
Oh, stop.
But
That's the sound the bear makes.
God, I love that button. I don't even know why. It doesn't even make any sense, and I don't care.
201 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He had 1 pick, 266. Those were his second half stats. 266 total, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 21 carries for 120 yards. Lamar Jackson, true or false, is your MVP?
False.
I'm still there with you. He's still not the MVP for me.
See, here's the
Somebody said it in the comments, and I think you're right. Jordan Love showed Aaron Rodgers is the
100%.
MVP of the NFL.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to yell, and I'm going to say I'm going to say wordy nerds. I really hope they do not evaluate this video for its ad sensibility when we talk about the Packers and the Chiefs, because I'm going to say words that start with F and words that start with F, and I'm going to do it a bunch of times.
Marquise Brown had a pretty good day. Over 100 yards receiving for him. 12 targets, 116 yards. Did not get into the end zone, though. Did you feel good about Rashad Bateman?
Rashad Bateman is a very good NFL player. Rashad Bateman's going to be a bad cat daddy in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about Lamar Jackson, just because I'm curious to see how close you get on this.
Okay.
How many games has he played this year where his QBR was above 61? Stephen Towle, stop that.
3.
It's 2. How many games has he played where his QBR was below 50?
6.
3.
Okay.
He's not been a very good quarterback. Here's what he's been. Lamar Jackson has been the definition of why stats don't matter. Because statistically, he's rushed for all these yards. Blah, blah, blah. If you look at the analytics, he's been borderline bad. But he's the reason they keep winning. Because he just does things that the analytics and the stats haven't caught up to. Because there's no way to stop him. He's doing this in a run-heavy offense. Literally, with 2 running backs that are my age. He's got 2 running backs that are my age running behind him.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. And he has 2 receivers that are worth the price of a loaf of bread. That's it. Devin DuVernay. What? Stop. Stop doing that.
But he's so fast.
Oh God, the comparisons of who Jordan Love is better than are insane to me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know who Jordan Love's better than? Jamarcus Russell. End of list. That's who Jordan Love's better than. Alex S. said, please yell so I can live vicariously and not get kicked out of my office. I hope you're listening to this through Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to swear a mess.
It's going to get aggressive. The overtime, though, here's the thing. Undisciplined teams, they're going to lose ball games a lot. And that's exactly what happened to Minnesota.
And here's the thing. I can't wrap my brain around with Minnesota. Kirk Cousins could literally damn near not play better. And they still can't win. That tells you everything you need to know. There is no margin for error for this team. None. The secondary is brutal. Fourth quarter and overtime, you knew where that ball was going on every freaking play.
Yep.
Hollywood Brown. I had my little DraftKings thing pulled up. I swear to you, every time it rolled, it was like, add more points for Marquise Brown. Let's just let the good times roll. I cashed aggressively in DraftKings. Only that and NC State is all that made this not a, hey, I should get a tin can and go beg for change weekend.
Just missed tackles, penalties, all of that came back to bite Minnesota in the overtime period, giving Baltimore every chance to win the game. And guess what? When you have Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker of all time, you're going to win more games than you lose.
I Havoc said in the comments that Minnesota needs a new head coach. Yeah, I feel that way about a couple teams, and I think one of them's going to get one
Tomorrow.
today and one tomorrow.
Oh, you think somebody gets fired
I think
today?
Mike Zimmer gets fired today.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to. You have to. He has lost this team, and it's very, very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind. Dalvin Cook was good yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have to be able to win games. That's kind of the name of the game here is you play to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Herman. Also, thanks for beating the shellac out of USC. I thoroughly appreciate that.
The New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, Sam Darnold saw ghosts against the Bill Belichick coach team. This is exactly what I was afraid was going to happen. When we were picking games on Friday, I told you this was the hardest one because I feel like the talent is better with Carolina. But there's something about a Bill Belichick coach team against bad quarterbacks, and that's exactly what Sam Darnold is. I have given up all hope on Sam Darnold. It is over. Bury this guy. Just outright cut him today. And sign
stop.
Cam Newton.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Good Lord. Carolina fans, we're an affiliate of Carolina.
Yep.
They are wonderfully good to us. I am so sick of their fan base that it makes I swear to you, because I'm a member of a couple Panthers fan groups, the ones that we have, you're smart people. There are a slew of you that are your brethren in Panther fandom that are morons. If you're looking at this going, and I saw this on Twitter and I'm trying to remember it verbatim. When we had Cam Newton, I always felt like we were in games. Then you sat here like this a lot because that's how you looked on the outside to the rest of us. Now, let's get to Sam because Sam wasn't good. Sam wasn't good.
No.
I got news for you. Behind that offensive line, there's not a quarterback in the NFL that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Not one. You put Pat Mahomes behind that. Put Matt Stafford, Tom Brady. I don't care who your quarterback is.
I was going to say Pat
Behind
Mahomes is a
that
bad
line,
example to use this year.
You're not wrong.
Right. No, but it's constant. No.
These tomatoes aren't even right.
There we go.
It's constant, though. The pressure is constant on Sam Darnold. He's always having to move out of the pocket, always having to look for extra yards somewhere.
Here's the thing.
And it's not – and more often than not yesterday, it was not he's holding on to the ball too long. It's just there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Do you know what his QBR was yesterday?
19.
Too high.
12.
Too high.
6.
Too high.
2.3.
A little too low.
3.8.
3. Here's the thing. Sam Darnold is what a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL fall into. He is a victim of what is around him. And that means you should not have been a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, and you should not have yielded 3 draft picks in a trade. Because now Sam Darnold is equal than or slightly greater than Colt McCoy. Mm-hmm. Colt McCoy looked pretty good yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. When you have weapons and an offensive line like that, it's weird how good you can look.
Yeah.
That's what Sam Darnold is, though.
Yeah.
We have to stop thinking that he's going to unify the – let's be real honest. Name me a player that played well yesterday.
Ain't
From
one.
Carolina. There's not one.
Ain't one.
There's not one.
Brian Burns.
Yeah.
Brian Burns played pretty well.
Yeah, and then he wound up out of the game because Mac
Because
Jones
Mac
held
Jones
on
is a pussy. Mother. I'm sorry. I like Brian Burns, and I hate that leg whip bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it myself.
But
then again, if I'm Brian Burns, just step on his head.
No kidding.
You are.
Oh, but he'd be kicked out of the league. He'd be suspended for 7 games. Meanwhile, Mac Jones, sweeps the leg, and I didn't see anything. Yeah, nothing happened.
Live by the Jeremy Greene philosophy. I'm fucking bigger than you, and I will make you regret that you just did that.
Right.
I've lived by that for 34 years, and it's worked out just swimming for me.
Well,
here's the problem, I keep hearing this. Oh, we should go to P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker sucks. Mm-hmm. I hate to break this to you. He's not good.
No.
Oh, he was the MVP of the XFL. Yeah, and that's exactly what he is.
Huzzah.
He's an XFL quarterback. But at this point, for the rest of this season, Sam Darnold gives you the best chance to win. However, behind this line, I thought it was a McCaffrey thing.
Yeah.
I did. I thought not having McCaffrey, and it's not. It's not. Armchair commentary is waiting for me to say nice things about the Patriots. So let me say this. Your uniforms looked really blue. Your logo is not the worst one in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a bad team. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You put that New England team on the field with a good team, they will get the piss beat out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Mac Jones's QBR was yesterday? Against a Carolina defense that was put in some of the most god-awful situations that you've ever seen.
I'll take 11.8.
It's 27.2.
No.
He's not good.
No.
The New England Patriots are the mediocre. You know what? I haven't got to use this many times. They're the 3-cheese chicken penne of the NFL. Will it fill you up? Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Do you ever walk away from it and go, that's the best meal I've ever had? No.
No,
And guess who you play next week? The Cleveland Browns. We'll get to them in a minute.
Feel good about that?
I do. I feel real good about that.
You feel pretty good about that there, armchair?
Because I have a funny feeling that we will be here for the first of many losses for the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't buy this team. Okay, so you'll make the backside of the playoffs. Cool. So you'll go in and play the Ravens, who will beat you like a kettle drum. What am I supposed to be impressed by this? Oh, look at Bill. Bill's he's a defensive guru. No, he had a quarterback that was literally throwing it to his guys in stride.
Right.
Oh, but that's the scheme. No, that's a bad quarterback. You now have 4 wins, 2 against the Jets, who are horrible. The Houston Texans, who are worse, and the Carolina Panthers, who I got news for you, they belong right in that little tier 2.
Yeah, they do.
That's 4 of your 5 wins. But we beat the Chargers, who could have lost to the Eagles yesterday.
Yeah, and I have to correct Kevin Vick. Y'all were talking back and forth in the comments, and Kevin said it's not the weapons. No, it is the weapons. The weapons are bad too.
What weapon's been a positive?
Right.
DJ Moore leads the NFL in drops.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Anderson's been an afterthought. By the way, you want to talk about somebody to cut? Robbie Anderson, somebody to cut.
Yeah.
You come off the sideline and start talking to your quarterback like that,
mm-hmm.
fuck off.
Yeah.
You take your damn 114-pound soaking wet ass on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've been pissed that we didn't keep Robbie Anderson for a long time. I watched that yesterday and went, fuck off.
Yeah.
You can go straight to, let me give you directions, down. That's where I would have told you to go. Little Mr. I run a 4-4 and can't separate from a fucking linebacker. You take your shit on somewhere.
Tell him.
That pissed me off to no end.
Preach
and not
it,
even because I'm a Darnold apologist. I'm not. At this point, yeah, you're right. He is what he is. He is a limited, mediocre NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, what's the narrative? And because I saw this 100 times. Sam Darnold's lost this team to such a point that the receivers aren't yelling at him about that. Well, here's the thing. Maybe you should look in a mirror and go, hey, I suck at football.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Daniel Calderon.
I'm your huckleberry.
Welcome to the House of Reprehensibles.
Thank you, sir. You got to update that. You got to update that graphic.
Yes,
again.
I just updated it today. And look, I'll update that shit every day for the rest of the time. I just can't do it in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. I came away from that game going, God, the Carolina Panthers are bad.
Yeah, they're a bottom 10 team in the NFL.
That entire offense is terrible. The defense isn't bad, but still, what does that leave you with? A team that can score a whole bunch of points on the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, they're the Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah. That's what the Carolina Panthers are to me now.
Here's the thing with Carolina. I just look at it, and I've heard a lot of old Matt Rule and old Joe Brady. I got news for you. There is nothing you can do. I have watched copious amounts of Panther tape. You know what I see constantly? One-on-one linemen just getting eaten. You know who you should be looking at? Scott Fitterer. Mm-hmm. And I love Fitterer. I think he's done a great job that building this roster. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you cannot walk into the season with an offensive line like that. And I said that. Mm-hmm. Cam Irving cannot be your left tackle. Mm-hmm. You cannot be trying to figure out where to put Brady Christensen, who you took in the 3rd round. This line is bad.
Yep.
Daniel Calderon said, still waiting for merch. Today. And we have one that is Aaron Rodgers centric. We are kicking full into, we will be making, as things break in sports, there's an Aaron Rodgers, what does it say? Aaron Rodgers Homeopathic Clinic.
Yeah.
Ask us about the Rodgers rate. Big fan. I made that one myself.
He loves it so much.
I was going to I asked Joe Rogan for medical advice too, but I can only piss people off so much.
I will say this.
Although if you'll wear it, if people wear it, I'll make it. You tell me what you want, I will make it. I can do it. Yep. Lickety split.
Armchair did want us to say something good about the New England Patriots, so I will say this.
Good about New England. I'm talking shit.
Their running game yesterday, I was very impressed with.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was talking shit about New England because, well, I'm a Jets fan.
You're a Jets fan, yeah.
But Bill is doing a fine job. There is just such a cap on what this team can do. By the way, Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, you're doing exactly what you needed to do. The problem is you don't challenge anybody deep. You get into a shootout with that team, what's going to happen? Yeah, you can beat mediocre teams. I never doubted that. I've had New England in that 18 to 22 range all year long, and that's where I'm at.
Yep.
Stephen Tao said, still wanted facts, don't care about your feelings shirt. Well, here's the problem.
That's
Ben
trademarked.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro has those.
That is
trademarked. I will say that I do want to make one that says stats don't care about your feelings.
Now, see, there you go.
I think that's just different. I made one with an OnlyFans logo that I about peed in my pants laughing at. And then I found out that was trademarked, and I went, oh, shit! Mm-hmm. Anthony Hurt said, can y'all say something good about my Colts? You beat my Jets in a way that should have been borderline criminal. I like that team. I don't like the way you call the last 10 minutes of games.
Right.
Because Frank Reich apparently does not understand. You need the clock to move. You have a running back that was gashing us, and you still tried to let us back in that game.
Yeah. The Colts are a team that's going to look really good against bad teams.
And I think they're better than that. They just can't close out games.
But that's what I was getting to. Was they're also a team that can be competitive with the best teams in the NFL, but you're going to come up short.
Stephen Tao said we should have a shirt that says Vax don't care about your feelings.
Vax?
I can make that funny. Patrick Holt said, hey, can y'all say something about Joe Biden?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's see. Yeah. Let me say something nice about Biden. He's already 100, so there can't be that much longer of him. That's probably the nicest thing I could say. Hashtag no politics. Oh, nice. That's my mute button. That's my bell.
Nice. You tapped the mute button?
I did. Hot. I tapped the fucking mute button like, hey, look, Bell.
All right. The second weirdest game of the day to me, which is most everybody's number one weirdest, but there was no shot that I saw Denver coming in and going 30-0 over the Dallas Cowboys. But the weirdest game was the best team in the NFL losing to the worst team.
Oh, hold on. We have a developing situation.
Oh, okay.
Armchair Commentary just did something, and I'm not real sure what that is, but it says $5 next to it. So that deserves a lot of a button, and I don't know that I have one. He also said, I just can't take someone who took Jets +7 seriously when talking about the Patriots.
Oh, that's fine.
Glenn Hopper said, I want a ringtone of Jeremy saying, bad. I can make that happen. Oh, it's a super chat. I've wondered what the hell that was.
A super chat.
He gave y'all some Canadian wooden nickels. I don't know what that means. Does it have a buffalo on it?
Yeah, it does say five Canadian. Is that different than $5 American?
If I'm not mistaken, that's actually more than $5 US. And at the rate that Joe Biden's going, by the end of this, it'll be way more. By the end of this, we'll be doing a show in Canada.
That translates to like 175 U.S. dollar hairs.
Oh, God, I knew this would be a fun morning, and we were off to a hell of a start. Yeah, I didn't actually know that was a thing. So, armchair commentary.
I'm your huckleberry.
Okay.
I'm your huckleberry.
I will do it twice.
Oh, he says no, it's less. It's like Canadian money's less than U.S. money.
How? How is that possible?
Well, you never. I mean, I'm sure you probably haven't done this in a while, but all the magazines that you buy in the store, they have like, $6.99 in America and $9.99 in Canada or something.
Oh, he said basically just paid to have my message highlighted. You can do that anytime.
Yeah.
You know what?
Bring it on.
If you want to do that, hell, we'll read those on the ESPN show.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be real honest with you. We have so many good creative ideas that if we could find a way that we weren't like at the poverty line, we could do some cool shit. But I'm a level. It's the end of the year, and we haven't been paid in a tremendously long time. That's how our sponsors work. They pay for the year.
Yeah.
So we get to the middle of November and just go, man, ramen's good. You like ramen? Which one did you have last night, the chicken or the beef?
So apparently it's 80. So apparently it's 80 cents. 80 cents on the dollar.
80 cents. I was about to be like, how in the hell is that? Okay,
Yeah.
80 cents on
80
the dollar.
cents on the
Okay,
dollar.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now.
So 80 times 5 is $4. Yay, $4.
Havoc, you're
Thank you.
You're
Every little bit
100%
counts.
right.
What?
It was always going to happen. Inflation is just a thing. It's just accelerated by people that want shit for free.
Yeah.
And that's
no more politics. All right. So the Buffalo Bills actually lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday after being a 14.5 point favorite, and we thought you couldn't set that number high enough. Josh Allen won the battle of Josh Allens. Jeremy's so angry. He's so
tired of
angry.
hearing that.
Look, Scott Hansen could not let it go on Red Zone yesterday. Of just, there's Josh Allen. It's the first time a Josh Allen's ever intercepted a Josh Allen. It's the first time a Josh Allen's ever, recovered a fumble from Josh Allen.
You see how annoying that was? I listened to that for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And if there's any person that says Josh Allen's name in a more annoying way than mine, it's Chris Hansen.
It's Chris Hansen.
Because I call him Josh Allen. He calls him Josh Allen.
I thought it was Scott Hansen. It's not Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen's the
that's
one.
That's the Catch a Predator guy.
Let's just sit down. What are you doing here? Scott Hansen's the one we're referring to. Yes, you are correct. Scott Hansen, the only person I've ever seen that can over-accentuate Allen more than I can.
Right. Jacksonville brought the pass rush, though, and the Buffalo offense just didn't make the trip.
No, it was bad. It was bad. And that's one of our overreactions for today. The Buffalo Bills are not ready for primetime. That is a ridiculous,
we all know that's a lie.
Ridiculous overreaction.
I mean, is there a lot of that going on? Is there a lot of that? Oh my God, the Bills lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah, you know where it's coming from? New England Patriots fans, Cleveland Browns fans, Tennessee Titans fans, Kansas City Chiefs fans. Here's secret time. The Buffalo Bills are still the best team in the AFC. And secret time, it's not really all that close.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who's two? Tennessee? Because they beat the Rams last night.
Yep.
If you played that game 10 times, how many times do you think they're going to win it?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Holt said no slander against Scott Hansen. He's a national treasure.
He
7 hours of commercial-free football.
He is. We love Scott Hansen.
My dream
or
job,
I do anyway. He hates him now.
No, I don't hate him at all. I love Scott Hansen. My dream job is to replace him when he gets promoted on to bigger and better things.
You scream too much for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the end of the day,
you would be like...
I'd sound like Doc Rivers, just 7 hours of commercial-free football. Don't wait. Don't wait. Yeah.
The only way Red Zone could be more annoying than Jeremy Greene doing it would be... Oh, his name just went out of my head. The comedian, the comedian from
Gilbert
the 80s.
Gottfried.
No, the one that yelled all the time. Sam Kinison.
Oh,
Sam Kinison doing Red Zone football.
I have been called the Sam Kinison of my generation. And I'm
no,
okay
you
with
haven't.
I actually have. I swear to you, I have.
Yeah, some drunk guy in the bar was like,
100%.
here's the Sam Kennison of this generation.
You lost a lot of weight, Sam Kennison. Where did your weird jacket go?
Oh, it just flashes back to my high school days, like just constantly getting yelled at.
Ask Alice. We were like an AA meeting for sports. He said a lot of beeps for swearing if Jeremy does it. Put me on YouTube and let me go. And I'll say bad words and make you laugh for 7 hours. God, I think that's a beautiful idea. Patrick Holt said Pee Wee Herman. The word of the day is interception.
Wow. Yeah, that would be annoying.
Oh yeah,
that would be way more annoying.
Would they
like staying corrected.
Would they do it from an old school movie theater?
Oh.
Would Pee Wee Herman be wearing a trench coat by chance?
No. No good. There's nothing to take away from that, though. I mean, you don't feel better about the Jacksonville Jaguars. You only feel worse about the Buffalo Bills.
I don't feel anything about anybody. You know what I feel? Buffalo looked at that team and went, that is a glorified college team. They might have done it. You remember when you were a kid and there would be a substitute teacher and you'd be like, hey, can we have class outside?
Yeah.
That's how they were talking to Sean McDermott about practice. Hey, can we do practice and can we hit each other with pillows?
Right.
We're playing the friggin' Jaguars. Who cares?
Oh, and the guy, the guy who placed $500 down on the what was it? The Broncos and the Jaguars in the money line and won $15,000.
Yeah, you're a witch.
How much more money did he set on fire yesterday?
$20 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what they never tell you. Oh, somebody hit a money line parlay with those two. Yeah, and this is the same person that probably had, I don't know, 9,000 parlays. Mm-hmm. He probably covered his losses with just that one win.
And put $10,000 down on the Chiefs to cover, down on San Francisco to cover.
I'm not ready to talk about the Chiefs not covering yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get to it here in a second. We're going to get to it here in a second.
I got to eat a fucking water bug or whatever the shit it is you keep calling those things.
Mud bug.
Disgusting sea urchin.
Crayfish. So good. So good. Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals. There's interesting things to talk about on both sides of this one.
Man, I tried to tell you.
I mean,
I did. I went into this game telling you. And you know what my takeaway from this is? Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Which team would you rather talk about first? Cleveland or Cincinnati?
Cleveland.
All right. Nope. God, the colors are so similar.
With Odell Beckham Jr. gone, Cleveland turned in an offensive performance like we haven't seen since the first couple of weeks of the season. 41 points. For the Cleveland Browns, the defense looked good. They were jumping in front of Joe Burrow passes, taking it. Denzel Ward taking it to the house, 99 yards. Was definitely one of the highlights of the day yesterday. And Nick Chubb just ran right down their throats.
I had him on DraftKings. It was one of my favorite plays of the day going into yesterday.
So the question is,
Was Odell Beckham
the whole? Yeah, was he holding them back? Have they now found a spark in Cleveland?
The Odell Beckham narrative is true. Okay, the fact that that they got him out of the locker room, that's why this was one of the most predictable outcomes to me that I think I've ever seen. Now, is that something that can withstand moving forward? No. This team's still not good. Baker Mayfield was just – this is what happens in the us versus the world. Oh, you've got Justin Jefferson wearing a free Odell T-shirt and warm-ups and all this shit. You come together and go, they don't know how annoying he was. Mm-hmm. They don't know that he was driving us absolutely batshit crazy. So now we have to come out and prove it. So you get the 1 week bump. I said this on the pre-show yesterday. The Cincinnati Bengals got screwed by the schedule. That's it. Because you're the team that gets sacrificial lambed to Cleveland. I got news for you. They'd have beaten every team in the NFL yesterday. Every one of them. There's not a team in the league they would have beat yesterday. Mm-hmm. I would have taken Cleveland against anybody. Maybe not the Arizona Cardinals.
I was going to say, Buffalo Bills, you'd have taken them against the
Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. I would have taken them against anybody yesterday. Because you just don't understand. And I've been told this ever since we started doing this. When you have that just nightmare in the locker room, it fucks up everything. It's just like that annoying coworker that we've all had that doesn't do shit and makes more money than us, and they're a malcontent and they're annoying and they constantly bitch about everything. It just brings the morale in the room down. When that gets lifted, everybody is slightly better than they were before. And that's what you saw yesterday. Everybody for the Cleveland Browns was better than they were before. Now, do I have issues with that Cleveland or with that Cincinnati defense? Yeah, I do. They're limited, like I said, which takes me to so for me, the Odell was holding the Browns back, and now they're one of the teams to beat in the AFC.
True.
That's stupid. The Odell thing is true, but you're over exaggerating this to the highest extreme. Now, with the Bengals are who we thought they were. That's an overreaction. In my opinion, I still think the Bengals are a borderline playoff team.
Borderline.
You need rid of Zach Taylor badly because that was the other part of this to me. Good coaches rally at two times, after bad losses and after bye weeks. John Harbaugh, how many times did we hear that yesterday? John Harbaugh never loses after the bye week. Well, he didn't because he's a great coach. Zach Taylor's not a great coach. And he was the biggest reservation I had about the Bengals before this season started. Nothing has changed there. Nothing has changed. I watched a good amount of this up until it was very clear that, well, this is going to go the way that I feared.
But this is all that I was talking about with the Cincinnati Bengals of we need to slow our roll on how good the Cincinnati Bengals are. Or is their offense friggin' dynamic and great? Yes. Yes, with Joe Mixon when he is running the ball like he's been running, and even yesterday he was the star of the team, scoring the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but here's the problem. He only had 13 carries.
And with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, yes, that team is really good offensively, but there is still something wrong. And maybe it is Zach Taylor. But when I said the words fool's gold a couple of weeks ago, you laughed at me. And what's happened since? They lost to the Jets, and now they lose to the Browns, and both in horrible fashion.
Well, the Jets game was close.
Yeah.
And you're playing against a backup and all kinds of other shit. Here's the thing. Look at the schedule moving forward. You play at the Raiders next week. I don't like that for you because that again comes back to coaching. We'll talk about the Raiders in a little bit, but that comes back to coaching. I like Rich Bisaccia better than I like Zach Taylor. What Evan Doyle said in the comments. We win in spite of Zach Taylor, but lose because of him constantly. I agree with you. That is what I have said this time and time and time again. The Cincinnati Bengals are the Los Angeles Chargers of 2021. You need that good young coach that brings in and the unifies everything and some new blood in the room. I just don't buy Zach Taylor, and I never really have.
Right.
All right, you play at the Raiders next week. Then you go Steelers, Chargers, 49ers. All 3 of those are at home. At the Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, at the Browns. That's 7 games. How many of those are no doubt losses?
None.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the whole freaking point.
Yeah, they're not. None of them are no doubt losses.
That's the point.
And the problem is you just lost 2 games that I didn't think you were going to lose either.
Well, I did, and I called one of them quite aggressively, as a matter of fact. Well, then, that came out of nowhere. Here's the thing. A 9-8 team is going to make the playoffs in the AFC. There's no way around it. A 9-8 team is going to make the playoffs in the AFC. If the playoffs started today, who would be the 7 in the AFC?
No.
It's the New England Patriots, and the first team out is the Kansas City Chiefs. A less than good team is making the playoffs in the AFC. Now, are you going to be a sacrificial lamb? Yes. Now, this is where my sweeping declaration on the Cincinnati Bengals comes in. And I mean this to the highest extreme. If you're a Bengals fan, and there are a lot of you that watch this show, you should be rooting to miss the playoffs. Period. Because there are 2 ways this can go. You're either going to sneak into playoffs as a 6 or a 7. You will get absolutely gobsmacked by the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, or Tennessee Titans. And then you can't fire Zach Taylor. Or you fall apart here at the end. You go 7-10, 8-9, somewhere in there. You fire Zach Taylor, and this is probably the most attractive job in the NFL. Which job would you rather have right now? Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Bengals by a mile. Which job would you rather have? Chicago Bears or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Bengals.
The Bengals by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Look at every job that could open. It's the Bengals by a mile. You can have anybody you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time we've been able to say that with Cincinnati in 30 years. Because the ownership group's a pain in the ass, and they never fire anybody, and they've never been willing to come off money. Well, now you don't have to. Now you've drafted well. You have set whoever the next coach is up for success.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will argue it will be better for the long term of the Cincinnati Bengals for them to win, for them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Farrow said, I have a hard time blaming Zach Taylor for all this. What else would you think it is? I'll be honest with you. You lost to my team, and I'll just tell you straight out, Rob Salah outcoached the shit out of Zach Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only time I've said that all year long. Maybe for a quarter against Mike Vrabel when, things just went to poopy.
Right. But he's not a good coach in your mind either.
Rob Salah?
No, Vrabel.
No, I don't love Vrabel. I really don't love him in game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've been out-coached. Chuck G said you can't pull for your team to fail. Absolutely you can. 100% you can pull for your team to fail. Look, I've been a Jets fan for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the worst thing you can possibly be is? 7-9, 8-8, 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
That is the albatross of the NFL.
Yeah.
Because you'll live there forever.
Mm-hmm. The year that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right before they drafted Jameis Winston, what was that, 2013? 2013? Is that right? Anyway, I remember going to Carolina, one of the last games of the season. I didn't pull for my team. I mean, I wore the colors, but the whole time I was rooting for us to fail. Just bring on Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
That was the guy I wanted.
Oh. And there is why Tank is not a GM in the NFL.
Oh, come on. It didn't work out either way, so it didn't really matter.
Well, here's the thing. You got to look at the long-term health of your team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just be as honest with yourself as you can. Derek Farrow said they had 2 really bad games. They did, but think about why. Think about what happened yesterday. What did Cleveland do that you did not know they were going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing. You knew Nick Chubb was going to be the center of that offense. You had nothing. You had nothing to stop it because they came in more hyped than you did. I understand that this team has played hard for Zach Taylor. This is I'm going to call this the Ron Rivera rule from now on. Zach Taylor came in here as the offensive wizard. Name me the player that's gotten better under him. Before you throw T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, or Joe Burrow at me, they're all rookies.
Mm-hmm.
They're all guys that were drafted to this team. Who did he take and make better? It's the Ron Rivera rule. He never did it with anyone. And that's the sign of a bad coach.
Right.
Look at Sean McVay. Sean McVay has made Darrell Henderson a high-level NFL running back.
Yeah, because if Zach Taylor were a good coach, Auden Tate would be a Pro Bowler.
Because Auden Tate's the best receiver in the NFL.
He loves Auden Tate so much.
He's Randy Moss 2.0.
Uh-huh.
I do love Auden Tate.
Yeah.
But to me, that's the sign of a good coach. And I think with a good coach, this is one of the most talented offenses in the NFL, and that's not even debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have offensive line issues? Yeah.
Yes.
I told you were going to have that coming in the season. This is not new. The defense is markedly better than we thought it was. It's still not good. I'm telling you, I can't say this emphatically enough. Look at what the LA Rams are right now. If you bring in the Sean McVay with the Wade Phillips, think about how much more you would like this team.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. Havoc said, okay, I need to clarify this because you said something that made it sound a way that's not. He said, but you say Vrabel isn't good. He's definitely been developing players. You're right. Mm-hmm. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a good in-game coach. There's massive differences here. There are coaches that are really good X's and O's, really good. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the best at going in at halftime, looking at the pictures, and changing the entire game plan on the fly. Mike Vrabel does not do that well. However, players play very hard for him. Players like him. He has developed a ton of players. There's a difference. Now, if you ever get a coach that's both, you should have them for $1 billion years.
Right.
Because there's just not many of those. There's not many good in-game coaches that are really good developmentally as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mike Vrabel. I make fun of his name because if you want me to spell it correctly, then spell it right. But there is a merit to the coach that players like and that they play hard for.
Mm-hmm. And Mike Vrabel is that guy.
100%.
Is what you're saying.
100% is that guy.
Got you. He's more of an emotional coach rather than an
100%.
analytical
and there is,
genius.
And there's a
Gotcha.
there is a merit to that.
Right.
I could argue one of the best coaches of all time was that guy. There are not. If you look at the greatest coaches ever, you get into the Bill Walsh and the Bill Parcells and the Bill Belichick. That's a lot of Bills now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them were not the Johnny rah-rah guy. I could argue John Harbaugh is a very Johnny rah-rah guy.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue Mike Tomlin is a very rah-rah guy. They're great coaches. There's not one way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm hoping that, I've seen everything I need to see. And Bill Cowher, here's another one I forget. Good God.
Yeah.
Hire a guy named Bill. Like, this dude gives a shit.
Brian Billick, can we put him in there too? He's a Bill.
Never understood how he didn't get another job. But anyway.
He liked TV too much.
Well, I don't blame him. It's a hell of a lot easier to do this than to get bitched at all the time.
Right.
I mean, I do this and get bitched at all the time anyway. But I don't care. I like being the bad guy.
Anyway, the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, they're still a good team, but they're not the Super Bowl contender that we thought they were a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Stephen Tow's talking about Johnny Rah-Rah being as the Jason Garrett Award.
Yeah, he's not a great coach.
No, he was a bad coach.
Okay, I was going to say.
He was a damn god-awful,
hashtag sarcasm. That needs to have a hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah,
on the
he was
back
a
of it.
god-awful, terrible coach.
The New York Giants beat the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, 23-16.
Oh, here's another one we have to talk about.
Derek Carr was not good. And the Giants were just efficient enough to get the job done. The defense capitalized on a couple of, some bad throws by Derek Carr. Has it caught up to them? Has all the drama caught up to them? Because that's a lot of the narrative that I'm seeing now. People guessing at all the things that have gone on with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs and now Damon Arnett threatening to kill people on Instagram. All of the bad things have happened. And has it caught up to them? Or did they just get caught sleeping?
I just think this was a bad game. I still look at the Raiders, and they're still the team I thought they were. You do have to learn how to win. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr was not good yesterday. He wasn't. Straight up, Derek Carr was not good. And all the shit that I caught, because we do have a lot of Raiders fans that watch this show, all the shit I caught for saying that Derek Carr was not an elite quarterback. Yesterday, you saw what I was talking about. All he had to do was be really good, above average to good. He couldn't do it. On the road, in a game that you should win, he couldn't do it.
Yep.
I like Derek Carr a lot. Yesterday was one of those games that you could prove I am a high level, I am a top 10 guy.
Yes.
And you didn't do it. And it ain't the first time. It ain't the first time.
Well, you were that he was without Henry Ruggs, so I think
he's
got
to be without Henry Ruggs for the rest of the time.
We know that.
So, now, adding Deshaun Jackson, do I think that adds an element back to that offense? I do.
That's where I was headed with that. You still have Darren Waller. You get Deshaun Jackson in there. You get a deep threat back on your side of the ball. Hunter Renfrow has been solid, and he's going to continue to be the solid, trustworthy guy.
Yeah, Brian Edwards may have set an NFL record yesterday for the most times being targeted without catching the damn ball.
He's not good. I didn't like him coming out of the draft. And
you should have. He's still good.
I don't. I don't think he's good.
You know what he drew yesterday that I didn't think about? James Bradbury, because he actually ran as the freaking one.
Right.
I didn't think of that.
Well, he was the field stretcher.
Yeah, and I like Brian Edwards. He's a very talented guy. The problem is that they need somebody that can stretch the field. He needs that. The Deshaun Jackson on the other side. And I'll be honest with you, I think he's a much better 2 than he is 1. So there are things that scare me here. The number one thing that would scare me is apparently the only person that does not see that Kenyon Drake's a better running back than Josh Jacobs is the coaching staff of the Las Vegas Raiders. Because he is markedly better.
You look at the Las Vegas Raiders schedule coming up here down the stretch of the season. There are winnable games there.
Oh, absolutely. I still think this team's a playoff team.
I think, and you said there is going to be a 9-8 team make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I think there are going to be a couple of them.
And you might not be wrong.
Because I think the AFC is starting to develop into that, of just a nasty, you're going to have a couple of elite teams at the top, but then the rest of it all is just going to be a mishmash of good teams, good playoff teams. But I think that threshold is 9-8.
Let me ask you a fun question. How many teams in the AFC, and now this is a projection of after tonight, how many teams in the AFC have 5 wins? There's 16 teams in the conference.
10?
It's 9.
Yeah.
There are 9 teams in the AFC that have 5 wins. And there's going to be a regression because there's a couple teams in it that I don't think are all that good. Holt asked, will a team under 500 make the playoffs? No, I don't think you'll ever see that again. I think the days of that when we were the 17-game schedule, I don't think you'll ever see that again.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought it could happen either, but it just happened last year. So.
Yeah, but that was in a 16-game schedule. That extra game adds a little. There's a little level there.
Yeah, but you give them one more game, they would have made the playoffs at 7 and 9.
Yeah, there's more to it than that.
Okay, all right.
A lot of teams will tap out quicker in the 17-game schedule than they did in the 16.
Okay.
So you will see. I just don't know that you'll ever see. I mean, you'll see 9 and 8 teams do it damn near year in and year out. Mm-hmm. You're going to see probably 2 of them in the AFC. But other than that, I don't know that you'll ever see that again.
Yeah.
But now, in terms of the Raiders, it is what it is. You lost on the road. It's hard for West Coast teams to come east. West Coast team coming east at 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. That is still a narrative. It's just not as much of one as people try to make it.
Right.
At the end of the day, this was a game to me that could have put the Raiders in a very comfy spot because you would have been leading the division and you would be doing all the things that good teams do. Mm-hmm. Good teams win this game. Really good teams. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at the Raiders. I still believe in them tremendously. But this is concerning to me.
Because you went on the road and you lost to a bad Giants team who didn't play good. I mean, bare bones, they were not good. Daniel Jones continues to not be a good quarterback. He's doing just enough not to lose his job.
Oh, by the way, let's play a fun game. I'm curious if you can get this right.
Okay.
Name the 7th playoff team right now in the NFC.
Is it Minnesota?
No.
Is it
Minnesota's the 9?
Minnesota's the 9? Is it the Saints?
No.
New Orleans is the 6.
The fact that they're the 6 kills me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Patrick Holt.
What'd he get?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, my God.
They're the 7 in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, that's just gross.
Yeah, by the way, you remember that bet we made about the Falcons being better than the Saints?
Yeah.
I'm right and you were wrong. That Saints team sucks something awful. I don't give a fuck how good your defense is. I don't care. Your offense cannot be that bad.
You just wait. You just wait till they get Odell Beckham Jr. and Phillip Rivers. They're gonna light this. They're gonna light this underground of the NFC on fire.
Yeah, cool. Still don't care. Cool story, bro. Tell it again. They still suck something awful. And can I just say something about Sean Payton? Just solely because I can. I watched this and not all of it, but a lot of this game yesterday. Why does it take him so long to figure out that Alvin Kamara is the only offensive weapon on that team?
He's trying to be too cute.
I agree with you 100%. Right. Stop with this Taysom Hill bullshit, okay? He's not good. I've always had a rule about teams in the NFL, and this is invariably, it never stops. If you have to play close-up magic to move the ball, you suck. And the New Orleans Saints have to do that on a regular basis. You know why? Because you won't just go, oh, shit, we have this guy back here that nobody can stop. Maybe we should just give it the damn ball.
Right.
I had Alvin Kamara in DraftKings yesterday, and he should have had 90 because they couldn't stop it. They couldn't have stopped it. The only way they could have stopped Alvin Kamara yesterday is with a fucking Nancy Kerrigan stick. They'd have had to just beat him to death because he was destroying them.
Should have had 90.
He averaged like 9 yards a touch.
Right.
And no, we got to keep him at 16 touches.
I'm gonna say he should have had 90 and he had 9. Yay! Now, how much did he have yesterday?
Total yardage?
Fantasy points.
Oh, 20,
what was it, like
20 and a half.
Oh, he got that high? Okay, all right.
Yeah, which is stupid because he only had 12 touches going into the fourth freaking quarter.
Once again, it was the Cordaro Patterson show.
God, he's good at football. Good Lord have mercy, he's good at football.
Yep, 7 years later. 7 years later.
That's fine.
Cordaro Patterson is good at football.
Yeah, I have there's a fantasy team of mine that we have talked about on the show a lot. It's a half point per carry, super flex, all the fun shit. My running backs are Nick Chubb, James Robinson, Joe Mixon, and I have Cordaro Patterson as a wide receiver. Puppy fingers. I'm coming for you bitches. I am coming for you bitches.
Good for you. Trevor Siemian.
He's bad at football. Hey, you remember?
I still think he's the best option they have right now.
Don't. It's Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill will start for this team going forward. You mark my words.
Okay.
Because they saw exactly what I saw yesterday. Trevor Siemian is bad. The New York Jets looked at Trevor Siemian and went, "We're good. You just go do what you do." Taysom Hill will be the starter next week.
Okay.
Kevin Vick asked, how old is Cordaro Patterson? I'm going to level with you. I don't know. I think he's 29. I think. I remember evaluating him going, he can't run a route. He was one of the first. He's 30.
Yeah.
And he has the same birthday as me.
Nice.
Did not know that. He's 4 years younger than me. I don't like that. I wish I didn't know that.
March 16th?
Well, he's 17th. We're right there together.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the 16th, though, right?
Mine is the 16th.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right. I was just making sure.
Yeah. See, this is why he's a better friend than I am, because if you asked me what his birthday was, I'd go 2022.
Indeed.
I don't even know how old you are. You've been 38 in my head for about 5 years.
And that works. I'll keep being 38. Just keep me at 38.
39?
Yeah, 39.
34.
Yeah. Just turned 39 August 20th. I don't expect you to remember that.
I should write that down.
The only reason I remember your birthday is because it's 2 days before my dad's birthday, and he's on the 18th. So it's you, St. Patty's Day, and then Dad.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, by the way, just throwing this out there. When you join the House of Reprehensibles, I need to know what your birthday is. We're going to have a little graphic for our people that it's their birthday.
Awesome.
I had this idea I was literally eating Chinese food last night, and that came to my brain like, hey, that'd be cool.
Olamide Zacchaeus had 2 touchdowns in this one.
He didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You ever seen somebody score by
Saints.
accident? You ever seen somebody score by accident twice? This happened yesterday.
It happened twice yesterday.
Yeah, he scored 2 times.
Malik Turner.
Malik Turner. He also scored twice by accident.
Exactly.
There was a lot of people that scored when they didn't mean to.
Falcons 27, Saints 25. Of course, Young Ho Ko. That's not how you say it.
My old ho lame, but my young ho Ko.
Young Hui-Ku, I think is how you're supposed to say it.
That's exactly what
obviously
it is.
kicking the game-winning field goal to give them the win. The Chargers and the Eagles. That one went down to the wire. It was back and forth. The Eagles were able to hang in. And guess what? They ran the ball again. Shocker of shockers.
Oh, by the way, before we move off the Falcons and the Saints,
Yeah.
I have to see how close you can get to this.
Okay.
How many times did the Atlanta Falcons run the ball yesterday?
14.
25.
Okay.
How many yards did they have?
47.
You're too high.
39.
You're still too high.
35.
You're still too high. It's 34. They ran the ball 25 times for 34 yards. Now, I need you to understand that all of their running backs are right about 6 foot tall, which means if they put the ball right in front of their face, all they have to do, get to the line of scrimmage, fall down.
Forward.
You would average more than that. They could not do that. And they still won.
Chargers 27, Eagles 24. Justin Herbert. I mean, it's good. It was good. It wasn't quite the rebound game that I expected,
He was good at football.
but he's he's pretty good. He's pretty accurate. 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. It wasn't quite the bounce-back game for Mike Williams that I was hoping that it was going to be.
Yeah, I tried to tell you to trade him a long time ago, and I really hope you listened to me.
Yeah, he's finally fallen back down to earth, dropping a touchdown in that game as well.
Keenan Allen was very, very good. By the way, Donald Parham, it really irritates me how people say his name. Like, I don't feel like Parham is that weird of a name that people should be fucking that up so routinely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he asked us to call him that. Stop that. His name is Daniel Parham. Parham. Every time I hear them do that, it hits a nerve in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice catch by Donald Parham. That's my shit, okay? I say names how they're spelled. You get your own shit.
So Parham scored, and the other guy,
Steven Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had those two as the touchdown scorers in this game, you are a witch.
Uh-huh. But again, it was the Jordan Howard show, weirdly enough.
Do you know how many touches Kenny Gainwell had yesterday?
It's like 3.
It's 2.
Yeah, 2.
2 for 3 yards and a touchdown.
And a touchdown, so.
Woohoo! I don't understand this at all. See, here's the thing. This is the tale of a really bad coach. Because Nick Sirianni's a really bad coach.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot moderate. There's no way for him to be a balanced offensive play caller. We either run no times or a billion times. And I literally watched a good amount of this game because there were only 3 games in the late slate yesterday. And one of them was a blowout. And the other one pissed me off to no end. I watched this whole game going, you're going to give the ball back to Justin Herbert, and he's going to drive right down the field and beat you. That's how this is going to go, and it's how it was going to go the entire time.
Right.
So Nick Sirianni's bad. He's bad. Jalen Hurts looked like a real-life NFL quarterback, but it's weird when you run the veer how a bad thrower of the football can look that way.
Yeah, hardest hit yesterday, fantasy owners of Austin Eckler.
They don't run
just
the
couldn't
ball
get it
well.
going.
They don't run the ball well at all, which is weird because you watch it. I watch the line play, and they should run the ball well, but they don't. And it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, they'll break off a big one every once in a while. Joshua Kelly had one last week. But they just don't run the ball well.
No, Austin is better as a receiver than he is as a runner.
They need to figure one of these guys out to run in between the tackles.
In between the tackles, yeah.
Because that's what's missing from this offense.
Yep.
But Philadelphia's bad.
Yeah, and I agree. Free Miles Sanders. Problem is he's hurt.
How many receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles?
And they waited until he got hurt to start running the ball.
How many receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles caught a pass yesterday?
6.
You're too high.
2.
4. And one of them was Jalen Reagor, whose one catch was for 6 yards less than I had yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen writes, I like to run fast. Could you possibly throw me the ball down the field? I'm Casey Kasem.
And you know what? Can't. You know why? Hurts.
That was tremendous. That wasn't funny to anybody but me. It was real funny to me.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love came through for me. Yep. It's the torture ticket. It's the reason Jeremy's going to have to eat crawfish on Tuesday.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Kansas City Chiefs could not muster anything on offense. 13-7 was the awful, awful final score of this game. Patrick Mahomes continues to have major, major problems. 166 yards. Did throw a touchdown, though.
He didn't mean to.
He didn't mean to. Travis Kelce scoring the touchdown. And they can't run the ball for shit. Just refuse. Just flat out refuse to even make it part of the game plan.
Which team would you like me to talk about?
Let's go
first?
Kansas City first, and then we'll let you turn loose on Jordan Love.
This offense looks like it's coordinated by a 7-year-old playing Madden. Every play is go deep, and Pat Mahomes just runs around like, where do I go?
They just keep firing up the four-seam play.
And he's inaccurate as fuck. Like, there is no, you watch their offense, and it looks like a bad high school team. You want to know why Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job in the NFL as a head coach? Because he's a bad offensive coordinator. Because this offense is brutal. It is hard to watch. It is horrible. They can't run at all. They don't even. The bad thing is that they try, and they're horrid at it. That is the most ungodly, god-awful, horrible, no good, very bad, shitty-ass offense I've ever seen. That felt good. I'd like to do that again.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Love, he got the start for the Green Bay Packers, and he was god-awful. The moment I truly gave up on Jordan Love and gave up on the torture ticket, just thinking, I don't even remember what we agreed for my punishment to be, but whatever it is, I'm going to take it because there's no shot that Jordan Love is going to do anything with this team. Was the play where he's sending a guy in motion, the play clock is winding down. They're within 5 seconds. He's sending the guy in motion, and then 2 seconds left on the clock, he starts walking forward. Like, what? You can't do that.
Okay, first of all, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I couldn't resist the urge to do it. First of all, I have to say that I found it. The funny is that there was only one funny part of this game, and it's that they put Jordan Love's mother on the opposite. Like, she was in the Royal Stadium watching that. Did you see where she was sitting?
No.
The furthest seat in the stadium. She was sitting in the last row of the stadium, and they kept showing her, like, look at how happy she is that she's here for Jordan's game. We need to get her some binoculars because she can't see shit. And you know what's bad? I guarantee you she saw the game better than her son did. He is the worst freaking quarterback I have ever seen in my life. I don't think I saw him throw one on-balance throw the entire game. Not one time. He couldn't have scored points on any other team in the NFL. You want to know? And you know what? I know we don't talk politics. I get it. I have to say this. Shut up.
You've already broken that rule like 800 times today.
I saw your stupid look. You take your stupid look and put your sorries in a sack. This is you want to know why Aaron Rodgers cannot get vaccinated and he can say, oh, I'm immunized and all this? Because they know this is what's behind him. You could literally find a homeless person on the sidewalk and go, hey, can you throw passes? And he would be better than Jordan Love. I don't think they would have scored points on another team in the NFL. Uh-huh. He is a disaster of a train wreck of a dumpster fire on the outside of a burning building underneath a thunderstorm with Eeyore walking in to burn in the middle of it. That felt so good. I think I had a little stroke there for a second, actually, because it got real quiet for a second.
Right.
I about freaked out again.
Right. I was wrong to think that Jordan Love could be even mediocre.
I know you were.
But I was not wrong in telling you that this is how this game was going to go. The Kansas City Chiefs offense cannot score. Something is wrong in Kansas City to a deep, deep level where and you got to give the Packers a little bit of credit. I mean, their defense has been better than advertised.
The Packers defense?
The Packers defense.
They're saying that about the Chiefs.
No. The Packers defense has been better than advertised. Like, we've been making this thing like, since Jair Alexander was there, they're just dog shit now. I mean, they're not good. I'm just saying they've been playing better than we give them credit for. You got to run the ball, though.
Run the damn ball.
Like here you go. Another, wind him up and let him go on Matt LaFleur. And given Aaron Jones 12 carries yesterday.
I have broken a sweat on my analysis of this game.
I thought it was going to be Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon splitting 38 carries yesterday.
And I told you it wouldn't.
It just didn't happen.
You know why? Because Kansas City figured that out too.
Yeah.
Because they were sending doghouse blitzes on every play. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. It's because they know there is absolutely nothing he can do to beat us. He had Devontae Adams on a flag route that literally all you had to do was get it in the fucking zip code. Mm-hmm. And I swear to you, it came closer to hitting the stanchion of the crowd than it came to Devontae Adams.
But they still averaged like 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, they did.
And just refuse.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Because you know what? Here's the secret time. Matt LaFleur, not a real good coach.
Yeah.
You know what this game told me? Aaron Rodgers is calling this offense. It's not Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So, you can be mad. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, he lied to us. Terry Bradshaw, if anybody listens to you and goes, God, I really want to know what Terry Bradshaw thinks. I don't really know what to do for you. He lied to us. He's the devil. I can't believe he would lie to us. I listened to that for about 30 seconds and went, you are a special breed of fucking stupid, aren't you? Oh, he lied. The Packers would be happy to move on from him.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
No,
they would not. And you know why you can do things like that? Because you know. Aaron Rodgers knows I am this franchise. You want to move on from me? You want to do that for 17 weeks a year? Have at it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go to the Denver Broncos or the Miami Dolphins or wherever else, and I'll live happily ever after. And guess what? You know why that's not going to happen? Because Jordan Love shouldn't be in the NFL. He's a busty bust, bust. He sucks. So sucks. And I tried to tell you, he is horrible as an NFL coach. How any scout looked at Jordan Love and went, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay, sit down with me and watch the tape. Let's go over this. Let's just talk his shit through, why don't we? Because I haven't seen anything from Jordan Love, college, yesterday, preseason, anything that says you're an NFL player.
He's an NFL level quarterback. And here's the thing. Had it not been for the fuck-ups on special teams yesterday, this would have been a tie ball game. This would have been a 13-13 go to overtime, and Green Bay's got a chance to win.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I don't agree with that.
What do you mean you don't agree with it? It's absolutely clear.
Because that's a stupid-ass thing that people say. Oh, if they made field goal. Yeah, and I guarantee you Kansas City would have kept going for it. If they didn't do it, because they knew. Special teams-wise, you're a joke. And they muff a punt, which, by the way, okay, I don't want to hear how loud I'm going to say this.
Oh, God.
So let's take those off so I can't hear exactly how loud I'm going to say this. The sheer fact that you can muff a punt, the kicking team recovers it, and then it dies right there. That is the stupidest rule in the history of sports ever. And if that had been a touchdown, you would not have won this stupid bet.
But you know what?
I'm done now.
I did.
I'm done now.
I did. And now the torture ticket's 1-1, and we are going to see Jeremy eat crawfish on Tuesday.
I'm done now.
Because of that 1 point. The one little point. That's all you needed.
I have gone full Sam Kinison on this show, and I am currently sweating like an escort in a confessional.
Well, we still got 2 games to get through, so let's get it going here.
We did have. There's one that doesn't need much analysis.
We got Arizona beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-17.
Yeah, it's officially time to give credit to Cliff Kingsbury because it is the offense. It doesn't matter who the point guy is. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Colt McCoy was terribly efficient yesterday. 22 of 26, 249 yards and a touchdown. James Conner came out of nowhere with 3 touchdowns.
Havoc said serenity now, insanity later. God bless, I love you people. Iron, first of all, Iron, we're like an AA meeting for sports. So welcome, Iron. Said Cardinals are this year's go-to example of a next man up team. 7 starters down and they still walk all over the 49ers. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? There's one very simple reason why. Because this offense is next friggin' level. Cliff Kingsbury is playing chess, not checkers, offensively. And defensively, Vance Joseph just looking at it going, all I have to do is keep you out of the end zone a few times. And we'll outscore you.
Yep.
I don't care if it's Kyler Murray. I don't care if it's Colt McCoy. I don't care if it's James Conner, Chase Edmonds, Rondale Moore. Doesn't matter. Yesterday, no DeAndre Hopkins. Who cares? It'll be Christian Kirk. That's fine. He'll be the man. You won't be able to stop him. No big deal. Let's go. The Arizona Cardinals are the best team in the NFL.
I'd agree with that.
Period. They're the best team in the NFL, and I don't think you can even vaguely dispute it at this point.
No, because everybody expected, and I said yesterday, I picked Arizona, but now that I know that they're not going to, or that now that it's possible they're not going to have Kyler Murray, I feel bad about this. And then after seeing it on the field, I went, I feel pretty good about this. Because San Francisco's just a disappointment. They're a major disappointment this year. And I think it's time. I think it's time for Trey.
Oh, it's 100% time for Trey Lance.
It's time for Trey Lance to come in. They need to figure out, how to start the ball rolling here.
Well, here's
the
the thing.
Trey Lance era.
What got them off track yesterday is they couldn't run. Mm-hmm. And they didn't try. They ran the ball 11 times the entire game. Mm-hmm. So if you're that unbalanced against a team like this, you're doomed. So to me, do I think Trey Lance is a better thrower of the football? No. Do I think he's a better leader as your quarterback? No. But he can add a dynamic to this offense that you don't currently have. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can 100% run on bad teams. Well, you couldn't run on a good team yesterday, and you absolutely stopped trying. Mm-hmm. Jason Trump said, how hot is Kyle Shanahan's seat? I would say not at all.
No.
I would say not at all. They're very tied to the combo of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Mm-hmm. But it's time. You have to look at this introspectively and go, all right, among teams in the NFC, where would you put the San Francisco 49ers?
12.
Yeah, they're not that low.
11.
They're not that low, and you don't believe that because this is a conference that has the Detroit Lions, the Washington football team, the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Chicago Bears, the Seattle Seahawks. That's 6 right there. Mm-hmm. They're better than all 6 teams I just said, and I don't think it's debatable.
Okay, so they're 10.
But you're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, and they're better than the Falcons too. They're better than the Panthers too. Problem is, your schedule is ugly. So, yeah, it's time to turn this over to Trey, see what you have in him, and let's go.
Right.
And it's just staggering that this team is not better than it is because I love Brandon Ayuk, who had a good game yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
It helps having George Kittle. That's all there's to it because Brandon Ayuk is not that guy. Brandon Ayuk is not the hurt-you-over-the-middle guy. They need Debo, who is the screen guy, the yak guy. Ayuk can be the deep threat, and George Kittle's the guy over the middle. Mm-hmm. By the way, that's the reason that you're not going to see Trey Lance. The thing that blows my mind, do you know San Francisco hasn't won a game in that stadium in 2 years?
Really?
They've lost 8 in a row in Santa Clara. Because if you remember, they got kicked out of that stadium last year because of COVID protocols.
Right.
They haven't won a game in that stadium in 2 years.
That's crazy.
Joshua Pinnock said I'd put them at 8. That's exactly where I have them. I have them as the 8th best team in the NFC. Mm-hmm. The problem is, they still have to play the Rams. They still have to go to the Seahawks, to the Bengals, at the Titans, at the Rams. That's 5 more games that I do not see how they're going to win them. All right, let's say they win 2 of them. It still puts you at 9 and 8. And guess what? In the NFC, that ain't making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. That's why I think it's time.
I think it's time. You won't see it just solely because they want to see Jimmy with Debo, with
everybody healthy,
with Kittle, with the running game. And I get it. It's what it is. Yeah. I just think you're going to be one of the first teams out of the playoffs, and you're going to be right in the same situation next year that you were this year. You got a quarterback that you need to get reps for. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of mediocrity. And I would rather miss the playoffs than be the 7th.
And another mediocre year next year. Then we start talking about Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, and I think that's what it would require.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take one more horrible year because there's so much that you can put on, well, we haven't been healthy and we haven't had everybody on the field. And, he's not in danger yet. One more season like this, though, he will be. Tennessee Titans and the LA Rams. Unbelievable.
I don't know what to say.
It was another one of those where I went, Tennessee's going to win this game. At 4 o'clock, when I saw how things were going in the NFL, and Tennessee's winning tonight.
And I don't even kind of get it. They didn't do anything that said, hey, we're the better team.
Right.
But you were.
Well, I mean, it was L.A. being forced into bad situations. Matt Stafford, I mean, he did it to himself.
He wasn't good.
I mean, that one play where he threw the interception on the 3-yard line, he was back in the end zone trying to avoid a safety, and then he just Jameis Winston slung it, hoping that it would fall needlessly to the turf. Well, I was like, all right, there's a linebacker standing right there. Mm-hmm. And he threw it right into his arms.
Havoc said in the comments, Vrabel flat out outcoached Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. You're right. He did.
He got after him.
Seth Lofton, we're like an AA meeting for sports.
What's up, Seth?
Jeff Simmons took over the first half. Yeah, he did. Jeffrey Simmons is a kid that I've been on since he came into the draft. He got hurt his senior year at Mississippi State. He is, if there's a better defensive lineman in the NFL that doesn't get talked about, I don't know who it is.
Right.
If it is, as a matter of fact, if it is, he plays for the other team that played last night. I don't know what to take away from this. I really don't. Because Tennessee couldn't run the ball to save their lives. Well, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
By the way, Sebastian Joseph Day was the other one I was talking about.
I mean, it's going to be a problem moving forward, yes, but I still feel like there are pieces of that team that are good enough to make up for that for the most part. You know, you can't replace a guy like Derrick Henry. You can't replace a 200-yard-a-game running back just on a whim. But what you can do is you can have running backs that are just good enough to give them a little bit of a concern. Well, so they still have to respect the run, and that play action can still work.
But they don't. They don't. They don't have to respect that. They ran about 26 times for 69 yards last night. Like, if you take away the two big runs, the longest run of the game was 6 yards. So, this is what Tennessee has to do. You have to force turnovers. You have to make things happen with your defense. I don't know that they can consistently do that. However, I will say that seeing what I saw out of Tannehill last night, he was just efficient enough that I don't think it's the death nail that I once did. No, I don't think this is the death nail I once thought it was. And you look at the schedule and go, they play the Saints next week, slaughtered, and they'll slaughter the Saints. Texans at the Patriots, Jaguars, still have a game with the Dolphins and the Texans. This is going to probably be the one seed in the AFC with no Derrick Henry, who will be coming back healthy off a bye week. And I saw it in the comments from Havoc. This is probably the most injured team in the NFL. I can't disagree with any of that.
Right.
It's just, this is one of those things that I look at and go, does it make any sense? No.
Not really.
I told Eddie Fox this morning, the morning guy for 99.9 Kiss Country here in Asheville. He's from Nashville. He's a huge Titans fan. I just told him, I said, I can't explain it. I do not know what happened. I do not know how you won this game. It makes absolutely no sense. Your team doesn't make any sense, but it works. The front four is just really, really damn good. And I'm not sure that the worst member of your front four isn't the one that you paid a tremendous amount for in Bud Dupree.
Right.
So this team's really good. They're going to they're going to win the division in a walk.
No doubt.
Carson Wentz, you're on the clock of when we stop trotting you out there so we can keep that first round pick. Because they have no shot of winning this division.
At this point, we don't want to make the playoffs.
And yeah, I mean, why would you want to?
Right.
That's a young team. Just don't give up the one. Just let it be 2-2s. Don't make the same mistake that that other teams have made and compound the mistake. But Tennessee's the best. I can't tell you the best team in the AFC because I really don't believe they are.
No.
I think Buffalo's better than them.
I'd agree.
But I can't tell you a team that's consistently better than them other than Buffalo. And they beat Buffalo. So it's even hard for me to say that.
I think it'll get tougher. You know, I think this is kind of a narrative game as well, like the Cleveland game was. We lost Derrick Henry. We all have to rally around. We all have to be better. If we want to continue this train, we're all going to have to be better. The trick now is sustaining that. You snuck up and you bit a team in the ass that nobody thought you could. Now, can you keep it going? That's going to be the question. And there are so many, like I said last week, there are so many quote-unquote easy games, which yesterday should show you there's no easy game in the NFL. But with what's in front of them, 4 wins and you're in. That's all you got to do. Quote-unquote easy games. And now you picked up one that you shouldn't have. So Tennessee, they're still the number 1 team in the AFC record-wise. Talent-wise, going forward, no. I'm with you. I think Buffalo is still the number 1 team. But Baltimore's not far behind.
Nope. The top of the AFC is very good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The AFC is very good.
Yeah.
And this is, just more confirmation of
still
this.
Think the NFC is better, but
I don't know that I could agree with that.
Really?
I don't know that I could agree with that.
Between Tampa, LA, Arizona, Green Bay, all those teams fully healthy, you don't think that's better than the AFC?
Well, Green Bay is one bad vaccination card away from being a fucking bottom 5 in the NFL team.
What?
If Jordan Love's your quarterback, you're a bottom 5 team in the NFL.
A bad vaccination card. What does that mean?
Has made fun of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, gotcha. It's like, well, I mean, that's
the Green Bay Packers
Sunday.
have. I mean, you're one bad day away from being god awful. I do believe the AFC is better than the NFC, and it is definitively deeper.
I didn't even mention Dallas.
Okay, you also didn't mention Cincinnati. You didn't mention the Raiders. You didn't mention the Chargers. You didn't mention. There is a lot of teams in the AFC. Mm-hmm. It's certainly deeper. I can't tell you the top 3 is better. The top 10 is better.
In the AFC?
Oh, God, yeah. My 10 is Cleveland.
Right.
Your 10 is Carolina. Advantage me by a lot.
The Seahawks are the 10.
Yeah, the AFC is much deeper.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. I think the NFC's better at the top, but yeah, you're right. 1 through 10, the AFC may be better. But you do have to kind of take New England and Kansas City. Anyway, we're parsing here.
Your 7 is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Do I need more? I don't really think I need anything beyond that.
I don't think you really do need any more. Join us this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, and of course, right back here on the video stream. Be sure to go to thesportsocracy.com.
You can now watch the videos live on thesportsocracy.com. Yep. I figured it out this morning.
Yep. Follow everything live there. Subscribe to the channel. Join the House of Reprehensibles. You can also have your comments highlighted. We learned this morning
super chat.
by giving
Apparently
us more money. So
do that during the ESPN show. We'll just straight up talk about it. Now, it can't be vulgar. That's the thing we have to. Okay, you can't say the wordy dirds on the afternoon show,
right?
Because that's out on the terrestrial, and I don't really want to pay that fine.
Yesterday was a weird-ass day in the NFL. Coming up this afternoon, we will have more coverage of the latest and best NFL news, all of that. Tonight is Monday Night Football. We're going to have the Bears and the Steelers, which should be, just fun. Jeremy will give you the green-on-green picks for the day, and so much more coming your way. We'll talk some college football as well, as that was fun. Bunch of upsets in college football this week. All of that coming your way this afternoon. Don't forget to tune back in here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we're going early. Is that what we were deciding to do? We've got a meeting at 11 o'clock tomorrow, so we didn't want to – I don't want to record something.
We're either going to have to go short or we're going to have to go early. Yeah. So I would wager it's probably going to be 9:30?
9:30. Everybody meet back here tomorrow morning at 9:30, and we will do the Monday Night Football recap, all your waiver wire, answering your fantasy questions, how to get back from a horrible, horrible week in fantasy football, which it was for most of us this week. So, yes, armchair commentary. Buy these guys some ramen. Highlight your.
We're gonna need it. It's the end of the year, baby.
Yeah. Highlight your comments any way you can. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We will see you next time.